My drunk fiance joked that he got me pregnant to tie me down and refuses to sign a prenup because we are never separating. Now all of his dreams are shattered. I have been with my fiance for 3 years. We met whilst I was on holiday, and a few weeks after, he followed me on Instagram and the rest is history. We got engaged last year, and a month later, I found out I was pregnant. We have a beautiful 6-month-old. We hosted Thanksgiving this year, and my fiancé was drinking quite heavily after dinner. I and my mom were talking about the wedding, which my parents are paying for, and I overheard my fiancé tell my brother, who was just as drunk as him, that he needed to tie me down and get me pregnant before I realized what a dickhead he was. They laughed it off, but it rubbed me the wrong way because our baby was not planned. I wasn't ready for a child, and we were using rubbers, but after a few instances where the rubber broke, I decided it would be safer if I got on birth control. The first month on BC I got pregnant. We were told that could happen and he said he would pull out to be safe, but I still got pregnant. I was scaredest, but I personally didn't want to get a termination and so decided to keep the baby. I work for my dad's company and my fiancé works at a country club. Money wasn't necessarily why I didn't want a baby, I just wanted to do more before I started a family. I spoke to my fiancé about what he said and at first, he said he didn't remember saying it, which was believable because of how drunk he was, but then he said it was just a joke and it was meant as a compliment because I'm so amazing. So I said okay, good, because we're getting a prenup. I was just joking, but I also wanted to see how he reacted and he was pissed. He said why the fuck would he sign a prenup, that we have a baby together, a house together, and that he would not sign one, how we wouldn't need one because we're never separating, and that me mentioning a prenup is insulting and emasculating. I never felt threatened or anything like that, but he did make me uncomfortable and he woke our baby. Next day he sent a bouquet to the apartment. On Sunday he sent me a booking confirmation for a massage he booked for me at the club and offered to come over to watch our son and cook dinner. Tonight he sent me a message saying that I'm being an a-hole, that I'm taking a meaningless joke to heart, and that he's wasting money he could be saving for the wedding at the hotel. But now things that went over my head before, I'm starting to think is Zeus, but breaking up my family over this doesn't seem right. Am I overthinking this / being an a-hole? Update. A lot of people were asking for context. When I said I wanted a prenup at the time, I wasn't being serious. Maybe I was being an trying to get a reaction, but based on the 3 years we've been together I would have never imagined he'd react the way he did. Why did the joke bother me so much? About a year ago he lost his job. He was never really clear why, and for the next 3/4 months he didn't really do much. He said he was trying to figure out what he wanted to do next, and that was the first time he brought up having kids, indicating that he was ready. We had a candid conversation on my part about how I want kids, just not anytime soon. I enjoy my job. I had trips planned and I wanted to be married first. He agreed with me that we should wait 3/4 years. My dad's company got a contract at the club, which is how he got his job there, but during the time he was out of work my girls would joke that he's a stay-at-home boyfriend and that I'm the provider and he'd be a stay-at-home dad. Because I was paying the bills / rent by myself, which at the time didn't bother me. I used to live there by myself before we got together, so it wasn't a big deal, but I guess it was them that first made me question. To be honest, it had split and then I checked it the next time that it was also broken, which is when I decided to get an IUD. He didn't want me to, but I stood my ground and we compromised, and I got on the pill. I know we should have continued using rubbers, but he said he'd run out and that I'm on the pill and don't start my own house flipping business, but I decided to put that on hold. I still work from home on flexible hours, but he said once we're married, he wants me to stop working so I can focus on our kids and that he'll support us, but I've never really liked that idea, mainly because, although I've never had to worry about money, my parents always taught us the importance of financial stability and my mom's always said to never be financially dependent on anyone. Plus my fiancé's current salary I'm not sure would cover all of our expenses. The only reason why I haven't told my dad is because they have a good relationship and I don't want to blow everything up over an overreaction on my part. Update 2. I didn't want to initially talk to my friends or family about it because they're all quite clean, and when I came back I saw him take my keys out of my purse but didn't say anything. He took my silence as agreement to everything he said and went to bed, instead of the couch like we had agreed, like everything was normal. I stayed in the living room and my dad, bless him, drove 6 hours to